Book 189. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Motivation with Matthew Daniels, and today I'm going to tell you guys about the imagination paradox. That's right, the imagination paradox. But what is Matthew Daniels talking about? A long time ago, in a land now known as New Zealand, a scribe was taking a walk through town and he came upon a baby tossed aside in an alley. This baby, who was one of my ancestors no less, seemed to only be a few hours old, and it had been abandoned by its mother. Not wishing that the baby would die, the scribe picked it up and took him home with him. Over the next few years, the scribe raised the child like his own flesh and blood. When the child grew into a young boy, he became the apprentice of the scribe and started to eagerly learn the craft. Because he was an orphan, he often wondered about his real parents and the story of his past. "Everyone knows who they are," the boy would say, "but I do not. It is as if everyone has a history to look back to instead of me." The scribe could understand his pain and frustration, so he told him that he should write the history of his family lineage himself. That way, his descendants would not suffer the same fate as him of having no history to look back to. The boy asked how he could write a history that he did not know, and the scribe told him that his history was indeed deep within his heart, and if he wished, he could see it and write it down. "You are indeed your ancestors," the scribe told him. "They live on inside of you. Quiet your mind, and you will indeed hear their stories in your imagination." The boy began to meditate for hours every single day, trying to hear the voices of his ancestors in his imagination, but he could not do it. After years of trying, he became frustrated and wanted to give up. The scribe saw him about to quit, so he grabbed his arm and began to chant a strange song in a very peculiar tone. As he did, his voice caused a small light to appear that pulsated and grew. The light grew to the size of a man, and when the boy looked at it, he could see within the light another boy, his exact same age, sitting at a desk and writing. He quickly realized that the boy within the light was himself. Peering harder, he could see that the boy was actually him and had a stack of scrolls next to him, and he was writing the ending to a great work. The scribe then explained that reality consisted of an infinite number of dimensions. These dimensions are connected by the consciousness of all living beings, and all living beings existed in all different dimensions. He told the boy that his imagination was not created as a product of his own mind. His imagination was in fact the reality of another dimension. Everything that one can fully imagine in their mind, the scribe said, already exists in another dimension. So, if it exists in another dimension, then it can also exist in yours. I am certain you can write the history of your family because in truth, you already have. The boy looked at himself and his completed work for a long time, and he understood what the scribe was saying. He could not imagine the impossible, only the possible. Encouraged by this truth, which was revealed, the boy began to write his history from the stories he heard in his heart, and he completed his task before his own children were born, and his descendants never suffered the pain of having no history to look back to. And so, the morning motivation of today is the imagination paradox. If you can see a thing clearly in your mind, then that thing actually already exists. And if it already exists, it can also exist in your reality. The first step to achieving your goals is to see it clearly in your mind. Once you can clearly see it in your mind, you have in essence already done it. Imagination is reality, and reality is imagination. Envision what you want out of life, and indeed, you already possess it. Today, take time to see your dreams within your mind and heart with vivid detail, and always strive to do that which is good. And remember, you are awesome, you are amazing, you are wonderful, and you are great. And you are going to change the world. I just hope I'm still alive to see it, family. I'm out. Good morning.